Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight we're joined by the incredibly inspirational Justin Zoom Magic Gallegos. Justin, welcome to The Right View. We're so stoked to hear about you and your story. First off, tell us how your running career got started, because quite frankly, that's what you're known for, right?
Yeah, first of all, Laura, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you
Thank you.
for having me on your show. Uh, it, thank you.
You got it.
So, I started running back almost 10 years ago. Um, I was headed into high school looking for something to do to be more involved in my high school years and wanting to be more outgoing. I originally wanted to play football because I really loved football
Me
and
too.
um, grew up a football fan. Uh, Grew up in Southern California, so me and my dad went to all the USC games.
Okay.
So, but due to medical reasons, football wasn't the uh, choice we decided on.
Can I
Um,
ask you this? What position would you have played if you had played football?
I I'm not sure. Play. I would play football with my friends after school in elementary, and I really like to play running back.
Solid choice. Get a lot of glory doing that, but don't blame you. For some reason, I always thought I love football, and in my mind, although I'm a woman, clearly thought that that didn't matter. I was just going to go for it and play football. I always wanted to be on the defensive end. Maybe I just have a lot of aggression I need to get out, Justin. I'm not totally sure, but totally appreciate the feeling that you wanted to play football. I'm right there with you. But that didn't pan out, and you decided to start running in high school, I guess.
Yeah, um, we decided I decided to take up cross country. My dad, who I owe a big credit to in all of this, uh, pushed me to join the cross country team. So that summer in 2012, I joined cross country camp, and at first it wasn't easy. I was having to learn the knee lift and the motion of running. But I stuck with it for all 4 years of high school track and field too.
Amazing. Well, I got to tell you, I ran track and cross country in high school, and running is not an easy thing, first of all. I have a very love-hate relationship with running. I'm sure you can appreciate this, but it is more of an individual sport. For me, running, I'm sure you're probably like this too. When I'm out on a run and I'm out there by myself, I'm really just able to think through a lot of things. I work through a lot of problems. But what was it about running that really captured you? Because you went to the cross country camp, then you obviously enjoyed it enough to run throughout your time in high school. Um, what was it about running that you found particularly exciting for you, and that it was something you stuck with for so long? Because a lot of people try out for a team, they might run for a year or so, and then they're done. Why'd you stick with it?
I think the reason I stuck with it for so long, even to this day, is because I saw the reward of it was greater than the pizza bit, because
Yeah.
I grew up going to physical therapy, um, and doing adaptive PE in elementary school, and those would only do so much for me. But when I started running, that all changed. It really, uh, in a sense, did a positive 180 in my life. It really helped me get stronger, um, helped me both mentally and physically. And as the years went on, my race times improved, and I got stronger as a result.
I mean, it's so great. I love hearing that. So you were born with cerebral palsy. For people that don't know, you just referenced going to physical therapy. I imagine that's something, Justin, that you've been doing your whole life, and obviously you don't really know any other way to be. But how much harder is it for somebody, with cerebral palsy to do anything, let alone run? I mean, I got to say, it's really impressive that not only do you do it, but you have really good times doing it too.
Thank you. I always tell people cerebral palsy is kind of like autism in the sense it has a very big scale. And not all cases of cerebral palsy are like one person could be in a wheelchair, the other person could be very high functioning. And I think for lots of people with cerebral palsy, and they'll tell you that activities like running and like just physical activity, it really benefits them.
Yeah, I imagine so. And the fact that how long have you been running now?
So this summer will be 10 years for me running.
So 10 years, and you've gotten better and better along the way. I'm sure your teammates in high school must have really felt encouraged by you. You must have encouraged them, and vice versa. How was the camaraderie of having the high school team initially? Because that's where you kind of started your running career.
Yeah. Having a team was phenomenal. Right away, my sophomore year, and at the end of my freshman year, I just really developed passion for running. I wanted to lead the team and just help the team be successful, and just inspire others, inspire my teammates, and it was a fun time. It was a wonderful experience to start my running journey.
Yeah, I imagine. And so you started in high school, you loved it, you continued running while attending the University of Oregon, very famous for running, by the way. Did you choose the University of Oregon for that reason?
Yeah, I mean, going into U of O, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to go to school for. I ended up getting my degree in advertising. But the story of how I got here is actually interesting in the sense I was originally supposed to go to a state school in California, California State Northridge, and I wasn't gonna go to UFO just because it was too expensive, and my head coach at the time of my high school team contacted a guy who I worked with at Nike, said he's not going to UFO. Is there anything you could do to help him get there? And long story short, they all rallied together, a bunch of Nike employees, to help fundraise for my first year at UFO.
Oh my gosh.
And that's how I got to work with Nike, because at the time they were starting this project, which is called the Flies Project, which is a shoe with a zipper you can put on your foot. And they wanted me to test the shoes. So I worked with Nike for the next 3 years college, and in 2018 I was signed to a professional contract.
So this is the coolest story. I mean, that Justin, this is, I think, what so many people know you from is your video really that went viral. So I didn't know that about the fact that the Nike employees all rallied together and basically helped get you to the University of Oregon. It's so cool. Anybody that knows the history of the school knows that people like Steve Prefontaine, went to the University of Oregon. It is a world famous school for running. So I can see why you wanted to go there. While you were there, I believe you were on a club team, if I'm not mistaken, running team. And the video, if you haven't seen it out there, you have to go look it up because it's amazing. It's worth a watch. You finish a race or a workout or something, and you get to the end and somebody's there from Nike and they offer you a contract to be a professional runner with them, right? I mean, tell me what I messed up in that story, but that's the gist of it that I got, right?
Yeah, it is. So every year on club team, we did a dual race against Oregon State, and it was a 5K, I believe. I think actually that was the last time I participated in that race.
In a 5K?
No, the dual race.
Oh, okay.
OSU. So anyway, I ran the race, and there's a bunch, not abnormal, but there's a bunch of people there at the finish line. And I wonder what's going on.
Like, what's the party about? What's going on here?
Who I worked with at Nike, he oversaw my involvement at Nike, and he gives this speech that you see in the video, and offers me the contract. It was just a very emotional moment that you see in the video. So, and just lots of emotions coming through, lots of thoughts, and
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be a professional athlete, to be a runner sponsored by Nike, that in and of itself is a dream to so many people. But what did it mean to you to be recognized not just for your running, but I mean truly for raising awareness and inspiring people? Because gosh, I'm sure that's, part of the whole thing. Your story's incredible.
Yeah, it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me. And, to point out, I always tell people I'm a runner who happens to have cerebral palsy.
Yeah, I love it.
A runner who has cerebral palsy. We're not the runner with cerebral palsy, because I think, going to college and just in this environment, you'll hear, your identity matters. And, I think I believe that, but your identity does matter, but cerebral palsy is just a small part of my identity.
Right.
Your identity is your passions and what drives you to be successful in this life, and what truly embodies you. So cerebral palsy is just one piece of the puzzle.
Wow. I mean, how old are you, Justin?
I just turned 24.
Oh my God. You have wisdom that is far beyond your years. I mean, I'm sure people tell you that all the time, but it's such an incredible statement you just made. It is so true. Who we are and as human beings, it's not just what we look like or anything like that. It's about what we love and what inspires us and what drives us in life. And I just love that. What does running though mean to you? Because obviously this is something that you still continue to do. I read about your half marathons. Now you're on to marathons, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me, is this something you plan to continue long term? And what is your favorite distance race to run? I want you to go first. I'm going to tell you mine.
So yes, I have moved on to half marathons and marathons. I've actually run the Chicago Marathon twice now. Hopefully going to go back this fall. Maybe looking eventually going maybe run a marathon out east. We'll see.
You should do the New York City Marathon. I've done it twice myself. Absolutely incredible. Although I've never run the Chicago Marathon, so you've got me there. Maybe we should just do a swap, and I'll go do Chicago and you could do New York.
Chicago is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is an experience to live. My favorite distance to run, well, I like trail racing too.
Oh,
Trail racing is a lot of fun. But I would definitely say my favorite distance is the half marathon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
See, for me, I feel like a 5K, and this we're going to totally lose anybody that doesn't know anything about running. 5K is 3.1 miles. The 10K is 6.2 miles. 5K to me, you got to run so fast that whole time that it's awful. It is absolute torture as far as I'm concerned. For me, a 10K, it's a very digestible 6.2 miles. I'm good with that. I can really push myself, but I'm not going to have to sprint the whole time. Feel really good about a 10K. That is my favorite. And that's often, I do triathlons now because I had to start adding some other stuff. I used to run all the time, probably like you. And then what's going to happen is you get old and then you realize, like me, you can't do that all the time. You've got to incorporate other things. So I started doing triathlons, but that's the distance that I typically love. What is it about the half marathon that you like, or have you just run more of those than anything?
Well, I was gonna say you got me there. I've been running for almost 10 years and never run a 10K.
Oh my, okay, Justin, then we have it on our to-do list.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we got to get you in a 10K. All right, let's see what you do there. All right, but so you've done obviously a lot of halves.
Yes, I've run 4 halves.
Right.
I ran the half just the last weekend.
Oh.
The Eugene Half Marathon.
Fantastic.
I would me and my dad had planned to, just go easy and just run it. But after the first mile, I was feeling pretty good, and then hit mile 2, mile 3, mile 4. I'm running like 8:55 pace. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. So,
Wow.
in it under 2 hours.
So cool. Absolutely awesome. I mean, so many people, first of all, can never say that they've run a half marathon, but to come in under 2 hours, I mean, that's awesome. That's incredible. Tell me about, I've noticed that you've got some tattoos. Tell me a little about the tattoos you have and the meaning behind them.
Yeah, I got, well, we were talking about I got the one couple of his quotes.
I love it.
I got the cerebral palsy ribbon. It says nothing good came easy. And then I got the O on my arm. And
what's your favorite Prefontaine quote?
I would definitely say it's to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
So to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. Love it. I feel like I have chills right now. It's so true. So true.
But
sorry, go ahead.
Working with Nike was a wonderful experience. It was the best 6 years of my life. It was amazing.
I'm sure, like, most people, again, could never dream of something like that, but so incredible. What a great experience. You've done a lot at 24. You've graduated from the University of Oregon. You said you studied advertising. You have a degree in advertising. You've been a Nike athlete. You're also featured in the Track and Field Museum at your school. So, Justin, what's next for you? Do you have something else on the agenda? Is your plate not full enough yet? What else do we have going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, before we get to that, I'd like to touch on that. I am in the Hayward Field Museum Hall of Fame, and that was another emotional moment. And the backstory behind that is almost rather funny than anything else. So I think it was 2 days before the half marathon. This is just like a week and a half ago. So not too long.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that recent. Okay.
Yeah. And me and my family decided, you know what? Let's go check out the Hayward Field Museum. So we're just walking through, it's a wonderful museum. It's some of the best coaches and athletes in the history of running. and we're just walking along, and we're like, you know what, we should go to the expo soon. And then we say, let's go check out the last exhibit. And we get in the last exhibit. It's Ashtini and Elliot Kipchoge and other athletes that are on the wall. We glance to the right and my picture. And it just is amazing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and you had no idea?
No.
Wow. So wait, did your family know and they said like this is how we're gonna get him in there to surprise you?
No.
Really?
No one knew.
Oh my gosh. What was everybody's reaction?
It was just, we all started crying, to be honest. Literally no one knew. And I called a couple people, John, the guy who I used to work with at Nike, I called him, I called my old coach, I'm like, did you have anything to do with this? They're like, no, but that's pretty cool.
Wow. That's amazing. I can guarantee you, Justin, they do not have me in a museum at my old college. Just going to say that. Obviously, another great accolade for you, something most people never dream of again. But with all of this, though, kind of under your belt and having done so much at such a young age, what else do you have planned going forward?
Well, I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm no longer with Nike, and I used to be a motivational speaker. I've spoken in Dallas. I've spoken at FedEx headquarters, and I've been to New York, all of which were amazing experience. So I would like to get back out very soon with the pandemic, behind us and things getting going. Hopefully looking for new sponsorships and taking it one step at a time with my career. So I'm excited to see where that takes me.
Well, it's already taken you some really cool places. I'll say that. Do you have another race kind of in the plan going forward? What's the next one?
Yeah. So I am planning to run the Chicago Marathon again in the fall.
It's in October, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in between that, I hope to get in a couple races.
Yeah, let's get you in a 10K.
Yeah.
Let's sign you up. Let us know. We'd love to hear about that. Well, I'm sure whatever it is you're doing, whether racing or I can totally see why you're a motivational speaker. You're incredibly inspiring, and I'm sure you've given hope to a lot of people that maybe were in a hopeless place, and from every different walk of life, facing all different sorts of adversity. To hear your story is really inspiring. Before we let you go, what is one piece of advice that maybe you could give somebody tuning into the show today?
I would say, don't give up. I know that's the thing you hear a lot, but don't give up on something you love. Don't give up on your dream, because I heard this the other day. Once you give up, there's no hope of that ever being achieved. So don't give up. And, unknowns are very scary in life. I know I speak from experience, not knowing the next steps, because I like to plan on my planner.
Me too. Yeah.
But I know the unknowns of life are scary. So don't give up on your dreams and don't give up on what you love.
Amen to that. Well, I got to tell you, can't think of any better way to end the show. Justin, we so appreciate your time. Are so inspired by you. Please keep doing what you do. If you happen to make it to Florida and you want to sign up for a 10K together, just let me know, because I'll be there and I would love to do it. Would be so incredible. 5K, I can't say that I want to get down with that right now. I would do a half marathon though. So, but I don't know. You got me a little nervous now. You're up in your times. You're really putting the pedal to the metal with that. But Justin Gallegos, thank you for being on The Right View. Thank you for inspiring all of us. We know whatever it is you do, you will continue to succeed. So thanks for joining us today. And to everybody at home, as always, thank you for joining us here on The Right View. We'll see you back here next time for more.